All right, darlings. So this is Saint-Malo, and right behind me is a very little known space that I'm going to introduce you today. I'm also out here because of Ollie's vet visit. So we've got some other things to do today, but I wanted to introduce you to this space so that if you are visiting Saint-Malo and you're interested in World War II spaces and sites, this is some place to come and check out. Nested on the edge of Saint-Malo in the very quaint area of Saint-Servan lies a site where history spans millennia, from Roman times to the tumultuous days of World War II. Welcome to Fort de la Cité de Alet. That's a mouthful. A place where every stone tells a story of battles, bravery, and resilience. Exploring this is a fascinating historical site in Brittany. Today I'll take you through Alet, the layers of its past, highlighting the incredible wartime events and the awe-inspiring fortifications that have withstood the test of time and war. Now originally topped by a fortified Roman town, Alet has been a strategic lookout for centuries. Despite Vauban's concerns in the 17th century, it wasn't until the 7-Year War that the fort we see today began to take shape. It was really designed to guard the Rance River and the Bay of Saint-Malo. Now, fast forward to 1940, and this historic site is transformed under German occupation. Recognizing its strategic importance, the Nazis fortified it extensively as part of Hitler's Atlantic Wall, making Saint-Malo a fortress city meant to last 1,000 years. Now, these are the remnants of the formidable German fortifications, just massive bunkers, artillery batteries, and an impressive network of underground tunnels. The Germans installed 6 port-armored steel turrets equipped with MG-34s designed to withstand any assault. Now, in August 1944, the American forces arrived, and Alet became one of the fiercest battlegrounds. The siege left the old city absolutely in ruins, but the fort's defenses, particularly these steel turrets, were really put to the test. Post-battle, American troops tested the strength of these defenses by firing at them from various positions. Remarkably, most of the shells bounced off, showcasing the turret's incredible resilience. Only a few managed to penetrate. This fort not only tells the story of the war, but also houses the Memorial 3945, where each bunker and gun position speaks volumes of the past conflicts that shaped this region. Coming to Alet offers more than just a historical tour, and if you're coming through Saint-Malo to go and visit the D-Day beaches, I highly suggest a quick little stop from here. From the Roman defenses to World War II battlegrounds, this fort has witnessed centuries of strategic importance. I hope you found this to be an interesting little overlook of something hidden away, tucked in, just behind Saint-Malo Intramuros.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
Let's explore the ins and outs of renting a car in France so you know what's best for your next adventure. Can you see the girls? I have put a ton of tips and tricks into this video for you, using my experiences many years, not just because I own a car, but I've also rented lots of cars in this country. So I hope you like it. And at the end, I put together a montage of all these different cars that I've filmed. I guess I don't know. I find all these really cute spaces around France, and all these really cute old cars. And I was going through all of my archives. And so I pulled them all together in this fun montage at the end of all of these beautiful places around France. So the question today is, do you need to rent a car in France? Well, it really depends on the type of vacation you're planning. If your goal is to explore Paris and the nearby villages and towns, you really honestly can rely on the city's massive public transport network. It's efficient, extensive, and way more relaxing than driving through the bustling streets. So be sure to check out my Paris Metro playlist. I've got a ton of tips for you on that. Plus, France's train system makes it easy to travel to other major cities and regions in comfort and style. But if your adventure calls for more flexibility, renting a car might be the way to go. Here are some great reasons why you might want to rent a car in France. Perhaps you want to discover smaller, charming medieval villages and lesser-known towns. Or you're interested in visiting castles and lakes and rivers that are off the beaten path. You want to head to vineyards for some wine buying and tasting. Or perhaps you love shopping or have large luggage. A car is super convenient for that. For those who enjoy driving, road trips, touring coastlines, or hiking, a car really gives you the freedom to roam. And if you want to deep dive into a particular region without the limitations of public transport, renting a car is perfect for you. I often rent from Hertz or Europcar, but there are plenty of other options out there. Remember, in France, companies like Hertz are franchises. Let me reiterate that, they're franchises. So service can vary by location. Always check Google reviews for the specific rental location you're considering, and look for and filter by the latest comments. Most car rentals have pickup and drop-off spots at airports on the outskirts of cities, which is ideal. Driving in Paris, for example, can be a real nightmare, especially around Arc de Triomphe. It's best to use public transport within the cities and rent a car for your travels outside of them. The bigger airports usually have several rental car companies competing for your business, so you can often find great deals there. Just be sure to factor in any extra airport fees. And if you're near the border, say like Italy, it's fun to pop over, right? But double check with your rental company if you're allowed to take the car into another country to ensure your insurance is valid. Also, organize your trip so that you're visiting cities at the start or end. This way you can pick up and drop off the car without needing it while exploring a major city in France. Now, you don't need an international driver's permit to drive as a tourist in France. But if you are traveling with children, don't leave their safety at home. France requires kids to be in appropriate car seats until they're at least 135 centimeters tall or age 12. So technically, US car seats aren't legal in France, so you'll need to plan accordingly. When choosing a car, think about the size. You don't want to rent a car that's too large, especially for these narrow village roads. The trunk space, just make sure there's enough room for all of your luggage. And engine power, if you're into going into the mountainous regions like Alps or Pyrenees, be sure to choose a powerful car. Some of these places are really steep, and reconsider electric cars in these areas due to limited charging stations. Even in Provence. Provence is very hilly, okay? You don't want to waste your precious vacation time searching for car charging stations and waiting for it to charge back up again. If you're renting in winter, you might need to reconsider this, or know that there's winter tire and chain regulations. Just coordinate this with the rental agency, especially if your destination requires them. Now, let's talk about costs. The average price of renting a car depends upon how far in advance you book, the season, the rental agency, the location, and the car type. But here are some extra costs to consider. Additional driver fees, younger or older driver fee, a one-way surcharge, and that means like if you are renting the car from one agency and dropping it off at another, you're not going to return it to the same agency. They will charge you for that, again, because they're franchises here in France. Car insurance, after-hour fees, extra equipment, cancellation fees, mileage allowance, tolls, gas, and parking. And trust me, tolls can really add up here. Automatic transmission surcharge. So what is that? Most cars in France are manual. They're manual first. So if you don't feel comfortable driving a manual car, you're going to be charged for an automatic. And be sure that they understand that you need to have an automatic, because there's been times where I know that people have shown up at agencies and they've requested an automatic and all of them are gone. So just plan for that. If saving money is your priority, here's a few tips on how to do that. Book early. Return the car to the same location you picked it up, as we talked about earlier. Reserve a smaller car. Pay attention to pickup and drop-off times. Rentals are usually charged in 24-hour periods. Look for rentals with no or limited cancellation fee. And check prices for week-long rentals. They might actually be cheaper than, say, 6 days. And book with limited mileage. Although I never do that. I always choose unlimited mileage because I don't want to have to worry about it. When checking into your car rental, you'll need a valid driver's license, issued at least 1 year prior, a valid passport for everyone in the car, and a credit card for the deposit. Now, check if your credit card offers collision damage insurance when renting a car. For example, Chase Sapphire Reserve provides primary rental car coverage. Now, let's talk about the check-in process. Really ensuring a smooth rental experience goes beyond buying just travel insurance or booking with a premium travel credit card. You'll want to read the fine print of the policy to know exactly what's included. When you get the keys, walk around the car and take photos or preferably a video of any damage. I mean, I just do one single video nonstop. I focus in and zoom in on any damage, of course, but I also do the interior, the entire car in total. I also take a photo of the dashboard showing the mileage and the gas tank. Make sure the video has a timestamp and geolocation to prove it was taken at the beginning of the rental. This can save you from false damage claims later. You also want to check that the car has a Crit Air sticker. This is the French emission sticker. It's required for all cars and also especially for when you enter in. Things to inspect are like dents and scratches on the exterior, the roof, especially underside of the bumpers, back of the mirrors, interior damage, the condition of the tires and the mud wing above the wheels, spare tire condition, and just verify the fuel level and mileage. For navigation, your first option, of course, is to bring your own GPS. I always use my phone, but of course there are roaming charges and data associated with that. I also bring an extra charger and a holder for the phone. And then, of course, your last option is to rent the agency's GPS, but that often is pretty expensive. When returning the car, you'll want to fill up the tank to avoid the rental center's high fuel prices. In rural areas, gas stations might close for lunch between noon and 2 p.m. They also will close in the evening. So if you're in a hyper-rural area, do plan accordingly. The highway gas stations often have better amenities and they're open 24/7. Avoid returning the car after hours if possible. If you must coordinate all those details in advance to reduce stress. Sometimes it's just not very evident where you're supposed to return the keys or how to get into the secured parking after hours. And then finally, take another video and photo of the car when you return it. This is my passion. I love to explore all of this country. And I hope these tips help with your next French adventure. Be safe, enjoy, bon voyage, and I'll see you all soon. Bisous.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. All gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew.